There's a calm surrender to the rush of day, when the heat of a rolling wind can't be turned away.
An enchanted moment, and it sees me through. It's enough for this restless warrior just to be with you. And can you feel the love tonight? It is when
As a hero, you will encounter so many different emotions that you did not even know you had.
You will experience triumph, defeat, and days of uncontrollable and unexplainable tears.
But you will keep on going. Hello viewers, and welcome to another episode of Unnamed Heroes. I am Nikiana Williams.
And I am Shanique Samuel. Our Unnamed Heroes this week will take you on an emotional roller coaster as they depict the true meaning of heroism.
it's enough to make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
When the volcano erupted, it was, for everyone, I think everyone on the island, it was like all hands on deck. Everybody came forth in some way, and the initial need that we saw, like within the first 1 to 5 days, was food and water. There were so many people who had been displaced, who were evacuating, still evacuating. They were still evacuating weeks after as well, that needed food and water. And so initially that's what it was. It was just getting, cooked food out to people, whether that was just purchasing, chicken and rice and some vegetables so that there could be some cook-ups, some pots to be able to feed the people in the shelters, and those who had gone to families who had taken in some of these displaced people. There were and still are families of, with people up to 20 people in their house, in their homes, and they're feeding. And so that was the real initial need. It was like all hands on deck. Water was a real issue. Water was turned off for the majority of the island. So that's where we started. And then as time progressed, so as a couple of weeks went by, what really came to the surface was this dire need for mothers and children. There were a lot of children in need, a lot of babies without milk, without water, clean water to be able to drink, without nappies, without formula. So that's really then where our focus went. And it was amazing. There were people, our staff here at Barefoot, who were working tirelessly outside of hours, who would do anything to be able to help distribute. We had beautiful people from other countries just sending in items after items to be distributed.
We were grateful and we were so thankful, for these people to send so that we can take to the shelters.
Yeah.
It was so amazing, and that is something that we appreciate a lot, because if it wasn't for them to send water for us, there was no water on the island. We had to go and dig. One of my sons had to go up where we had an old water system. Take them days to clean, that people can go and get water. It couldn't drink, but some people tried to filter it to drink it. Which wasn't nice for the babies and moms, and elderly people. So we appreciate all those who are sending water so that we can take to these people who were so much in need. The whole island, myself, I realized to myself that I wasn't out of it, but the people who was in the shelter were more in need, so much need, like babies who need nappies, they need formula. When you get into the shelter and you realize the cry, it went so emotionally and so deep that you have to go asking and begging, and who can give, help us to give so that we can take to the shelter. And so we did. It was so amazing, you know.
And they continue too, which is so beautiful. I mean, to this day, and this little team like that, because that's really what I feel like. It became very quickly this little team of people who were out and really seeing and knowing exactly what people needed, and then coming and asking for whatever was needed. And you know, Jolene, you from day one as well.
It was a challenging time for me because when the suffer blew, the 9th. I never got back water at my house in the pipes until the 24th of April. And it was a real challenging time for me. There and then I realized I have to be buying water. Mercer reached out to me. It was difficult because I have a young niece living at my house. And, you know, it was difficult for me because to make tea, especially in the night for her, before she goes to bed, I realized water is basically, you know, a #1 thing. And then I didn't buy enough food, basically. I would say I didn't buy enough food because although I had bought groceries, I would say I didn't buy enough groceries. And then you have to take whatever change you have and just stock up. And then after Mercer reached out to us and, you know, we got these stuff, we start distributing. I got some stuff for myself as well. Then go into the shelters and you realize to yourself, hey, not just your niece alone need tea in the night to go to bed. Look at all these kids. When you show up at a shelter and you open your vehicle, the children are there up front hoping and praying that you take some snacks out your vehicle to hand for them. You know, it was a challenging time and I was just shaken by that, you know. And then I remember one time I saw 2 little ones there hoping and praying like, you know, Mommy bring some water for them because they were having dinner. At that time, it was the evening. And she brought a bottle of water. The bottle had to share between 3 of them. And I said to myself, look at that. You know, who would have thought we would have reached to this point? It was a challenging time. I was real shaken by it. You know, and these kids, I spoke to one of the shelter manager at one time and she said, after classes, you know, because we are online now with our school system due to COVID from day one, she said after classes, these children, they want snacks to munch on, especially when they get their break. It's just like when they were in school, you know? And I said to myself, wow. One time I had a pack of chips and I started sharing and I didn't even have enough to share. So they had to share with each other and it was like, you know, they were so happy, good to see the joy in them. You know, it was a challenging time for me, especially with the children and the mothers. I remember speaking to a mother and she said she has 3 children and, you know, it's so hard with the 3 children. She's in a classroom there and, you know, with other mothers, because when she have other stuff, she stay with her other friends as well that have other kids. So it was an experience that I didn't even expect it to be reaching to that point.
No.
It was an experience, yeah, especially with water and food and these mother.
Yeah. And what you were saying about the water, like sometimes we used to do up these packs with, you know, milk, formula, water.
Nappies, and even sanitary napkins. It came in very handy, especially for the young ladies.
Yeah.
You know, they just went there and you just distribute them, and it was like, they were so happy to get them. It's a thing that you can't really, you know, do without, especially young ladies. So it was a good experience.
I was happy when Marissa reached out to me with all these packages with formula, water, nappy, hand wipes, you know, and, you know, to help to keep these baby clean, you know. It is so challenging, but I know she did a lot, you know, something that I didn't expect. She went that far, and up to today, she still keep going, you know, because they are still basically needs, you know. I remember when we went to a shelter, one old lady, she got up from where she was sitting and she take her own time and she just walked just to say thank you for what we brought to the shelter, you know. All this food.
Noreen,
yeah, water. There was a blind man, he could not have come, but he was sitting there and hoping that he could have come just to say thank you. And all the the children and like adults, like young lady was there waiting, probably hoping. Some of them were in their period time, hoping that there were pads, you know, in these packages, that when we open it, and then when we realized that what we were taking in, they start asking like for deodorant. Can I get a deodorant? Can I get a soap?
Oh, well,
you know, and yeah, can I get a soap? Can I get a deodorant? And there we go again. Marissa went, and Marissa was reaching out to us and helping us to take all these deodorants, soap, pads, sanitary pads, you know, all this. It was so amazing, you know, when you got to the shelter and they realizing what they were getting. You know, they would, sometimes when I pass in the street, they would look at me and say, that's one of the lady who came to the shelter, you know. Yeah. You know, it's so amazing, grateful. You know, so grateful. They're so thankful, you know, reaching out. And I really appreciate all that Marissa have done by helping us. Because when we went into the shelter, the first, then you realize somebody asking, could I get a blanket? And I reached out to Marissa and she said, oh, I have some sheets I can give. So you can take them to the shelter, and there we go start taking all these sheets, washing them and taking them to the shelter so that they can have a sheet, you know. Even though you have a cat, you need a sheet. And it was so amazing, you know, for what she have done. I really appreciate it. Sometimes when talking about it, I feel so emotional. When you have the look on the people's face, the look on the people's face in the shelter, like old elderly ladies, you know, old men. One said, I remember one was when we went to the shelter, one said to Jolene, could I get a pants? Can you bring back a pants? Could you bring me back a pants? And I said to Jolene, probably we might have to go ask somewhere to get a pants. And I came to Marissa, and Marissa said, girlie, there's so much to distribute, you know. We have so much more to give. You know, and I really appreciate all that she have done, and the people who reach out to us and help her to reach out to the people in the shelter. And there are more needs. There are more needs.
And that's the beautiful thing, is like the gratitude goes, it runs both ways, it runs always, because without you guys to go and really see what was happening in those areas, and a couple of people at Barefoot as well, our staff had friends and family that were in some of the Wynwood shelters, and so we realized, wow, there's such a need up there too, and started going up there. So it's everybody. It's really been about like becoming one. Like this volcanic eruption has brought community together, which is so beautiful. We couldn't have done it without you. You say you couldn't have done it without us. The people who've sent the items, the people who've donated. Thank you. Like it's been amazing.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
We appreciate, and we've been so grateful and so thankful for all that they have done for us, you know. And we're still looking for more, because we still have more needs.
We're not stopping here.
And can you feel the love tonight? It is where we are. It's enough for this wide-eyed wanderer.
Yeah, well, my name is Bassett Matthew. I'm originally from Victoria Village, and Sulphur erupted April 9, which I had to go all my way to help my little mini family originally from over here, which is my baby here and my girlfriend on the right side. It was my first experience of the Sulphur volcano erupting, and it was a real difficult one for the first time. I had to go help evacuate and, you know, go around looking for little help, but I had to thank God to Marissa Bernard to reaching out to me to help me with some water and some other supplies for my girlfriend and other people in other shelters and so on. It's good that she helping, which I appreciate it, and so on. So I really want to thank her very much. She's doing a great job at the moment. She's been looking out for people in the shelters, crap and secondary, secondary, Argyle Secondary and other places as well. She been looking out, which I even put a hand and help she distributing waters, food, clothing and so on for other people in the shelters and so on at the moment. So everything's keep going good at the moment with her and so on. My baby even feeling great, getting pampers, water, food. You know, it's good. It's good at the moment.
To make kings and vagabonds believe the very best.
Being a hero means falling down, getting back up, dusting off the ash, and carrying on. Our next unnamed hero exemplified these actions effortlessly.
There's a time for everyone if they only learn.
Hi, my name is Chalice Rogers. Many of my friends will know me as Chels or Chair, owner of Chels Kitchen. So, let me see how can I do this. The volcano erupted on Friday. Thursday, I remember that I was in town. My mom calling me from Musty, chair, go home, get the drums filled up. The volcano is going to blow. Mind you, the next day was my son's birthday, so I was getting prepared for him to have a birthday party. Friday morning, place looking normal. Going through my day, I think I still reached down. My mom was on her way up. On her way up, mommy called, the volcano blew. It's like something just stopped because you keep hearing about it, but I don't think I would have ever got to experience the La Soufrière volcano. We were home like normal, was going to the day. In the night now, I think when the Prime Minister gave the order for everybody to evacuate, I don't know, something just came over to me and was like, you're sleeping. Well, I couldn't sleep. And then I was like, well, you're here in your house and people have to evacuate out of theirs. You don't know how they're going to feel. I jumped on my Facebook. I just made a random post. I said, tomorrow, well, which would be the Saturday, I would be cooking. So if anybody have any meats, rice, anything that we could do a big potluck, just donate and I'll get them come to my house in Bayabu and we would cook it. I don't know, like the post went viral, everybody started to contact me. But the thing what broke my heart is when you go to the shelters and you see the baby sleeping on the floor, you know, and the mommy is trying to just make them comfortable. And my friends are a godsend. Raphaelia Adams, I have to shout out Raphaelia Adams and Michelle McDowell in America. I'd have so many persons I could thank, but those two, baby supplies. I remember being at home and people just dropping off stuff just so I could just carry to the shelters, just so persons could feel comfortable. I adopted 2 shelters in Bayabu, the Bible Church of Christ and the Bible Resource Center. Actually, more than 2. I had the Adelphi Secondary School. Because of persons reaching out to me, I could have really donated stuff, donated care packages. I must have to shout out to my persons in Canada that sent me all the care packages. I did Belay, Gome. What else did? It had a lot of shelters that I did. And then personally from my house, I remember going out, I think it was the same Saturday night, going to deliver something to one of the shelters. And I fell. It was the hardest blow I ever got. I fell down in that ash. I dropped, I swear to the volcano blow again, the way how I dropped heavy, falling in ash. First time I did it. And I remember the Davis family calling me and said they have breads freshly baked bread. I remember I got bread. I got a whole bowl full of stew beef, and we in the ash have a wet rag over we face, just delivering bread so people could get breads for breakfast the morning. Mind you, we cooking and we have no water. No water was in Bible. We survived. The house had drums. I had people by me. I don't think I would want to relive the volcano situation ever again. But one thing it has taught me, that your blessing, it doesn't come from man, but it comes from God. So everybody that helped me throughout this process, and we're still donating stuff that persons has sent to us. So everybody that has donated to me, I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. My family would like to say thank you. I think everybody that we help in the private homes and the shelter, you don't know when you go by the shelter and the children coming to you and watching you, and they're so innocent in the whole of this. And I had to shout out my good school friend. We call him Baba, Officer Job. Officer Job brought snacks for those children, passed out snacks. Everybody got a snack. And the adults was like, so what happened? We want snacks too, but then just to make the children just feel like they're at home. We did games. We had persons giving coloring books and all these things. Parents, as something simple as a shaver and a sanitary napkin, to us it's for granted. To them, it's like a valuable. Something as simple as clothes. But when you go by the shelter, the love that is there, the shelter managers that left their home, me in the kitchen and everybody else who assisted me in the kitchen while we were doing food preparations. If I have to say my best shelter would be Bible Church of Christ. Those people, I don't know, those people are so resilient. They're so humble. Whatever you give to them is something, and whatever you give to them is like, I don't think I would have ever reached to this point where I am here now, delivering, donating, making sure. I think I have about 10 babies in different shelters. I'm everybody God's mommy. But it's something that I always say when they come to me and they say, God bless you, I always say, let the blessings fall on my son and not me. Because if I was in this situation, I would have wanted somebody to help me too. So I would like to say thank you to all my team, and my team is huge. I would like to say thank you to each and every one of them, for those who went with me to collect the barrels, for those that were with me to donate. My auntie, Miss Elmin Castillo, Auntie Elmin was with me from the starting, just helping me parceling out stuff and making sure I swear my house was like a shop with rice and flour and sugar. I don't think everybody could imagine cooking and you don't know where you're gonna get water from. I was without water from, I think it was this Sunday. And even though I had water, catch up, would never ever want to relive that scenario again. So from the bottom of my heart, I would like to thank all my donors from Canada to Baltimore to Philadelphia. I would like to thank each and every one of you. For my family, my extended family in Barbados, you guys are awesome for calling and checking up on us just to make sure that we're okay. So thank you so much. May God bless your family over into generations and generations, and may your bread basket be never empty. So thanks again.
Beats in time with yours, and can you feel the love tonight?
This week's show probably made you laugh, cried, or both. We have come to the end of an emotional episode.
Thank you for viewing. Join us again next week when we reveal more unnamed heroes living in full effect.
This far. And can you feel the love tonight? How it's laid to rest. It's enough to make
One of our mission here is to make sure that what we send, what they give us, reach to the people in St. Vincent.
These people are so appreciative of what they get. You know, it warms your heart. Honestly, it kind of brings a tear to your eye because it's amazing to see how these people appreciate you.
Leave the